All right, so we're talking about something pretty wild today, something you don't see every day. Picture this. The Sahara Desert, right? Sun, sand, heat, the works. Now imagine, instead of endless dunes, you see lakes. Yeah, lakes. Reflecting the sky. Palm trees reflected in the water. That's exactly what's happening right now. The Sahara Desert, flooded. We're going to deep dive into how that even happened. What we're looking at today, mainly a CNN article came out just today, October 14th, 2024, and it's got these crazy pictures. Seriously, like almost Photoshop huge lakes. I mean, huge, just popping up out of nowhere between these massive sand dunes, palm trees, like I said, mirrored in the water. It's honestly a little hard to wrap your head around.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a striking thing to see, and so unexpected, too, when you think about what the Sahara's climate is usually like. I mean, this is a place that gets, what, a couple inches of rain a year at most?
Yeah.
And now it's flooded in just 2 days, no less. It's pretty remarkable to see this much water.
So how does a desert, the driest place on Earth we're talking about, how does it just suddenly flood like that? What's going on?
Well, it all starts with something called a low-pressure system. Imagine, like, a big dip in the atmosphere
Yeah.
right over the northwest Sahara in this case.
Okay, so like lower pressure than the air around it.
Exactly. And because of that, air from the surrounding area gets pulled in, kind of rushes in to even things out. And as it does that, it collides with this warm, humid air that's already hanging out over that part of the Sahara.
So you've got a kind of atmospheric traffic jam happening right over the desert.
Pretty much, yeah. All that warm, moist air gets pushed upwards, cools down super fast, and that's when you get condensation.
And all that condensed moisture, it's got to go somewhere, right? Cue the downpour.
You got it. And
Yeah.
not just any downpour, we're talking torrential rainfall, the kind that dumps inches upon inches of water in a very short amount of time.
And that's what happened here, just tons of rain all at once. I mean, the article mentioned something like 8 inches in some parts in just 2 days. That's insane. I mean, is that normal for the Sahara, even with this low pressure system?
Well, flooding in this Sahara isn't totally unheard of, actually. I mean, if you look at the region, there's actually evidence of ancient rivers and stuff suggesting that there were wetter periods in the distant past. But this kind of intense rainfall over such a short span of time, that's definitely not the norm, even for the Sahara.
And so this is where climate change comes in.
Exactly.
Because a warmer planet means a warmer atmosphere, which can hold more moisture.
Right. And all that extra moisture's got to go somewhere eventually.
Yeah.
So while we can't say for certain that this particular event was solely due to climate change, it definitely lines up with what we'd expect to see more of as our planet continues to warm.
More of these extreme weather events in places you wouldn't expect them.
Precisely.
I mean, it's easy to get caught up in the pictures, right? The Sahara, all this water, it's pretty amazing to see. But then you got to think, this isn't just some like cool natural phenomenon. People actually live there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, those pictures are one thing, but the human impact is real. The article even mentioned, like, there were people who died in Morocco, towns and villages hit by these flash floods.
Wow.
It's a stark reminder, this isn't just a photo op, it's people's lives.
Absolutely. And beyond the immediate danger, I mean, what happens to the desert itself when it gets hit with this much water all at once?
A good question. And it's not as simple as, like, more water equals more life in the desert. The Sahara has this incredibly delicate ecosystem, right? Plants and animals that have adapted to survive on almost no water.
Yeah, you would think they'd be thrilled to get some rain.
Well, not necessarily. Think about it like this.
Mm-hmm.
A flash flood ripping through a canyon. Sure, some things might benefit, but it can also be super destructive.
Right, like washing away the soil.
Exactly. Or harming wildlife.
Yeah.
Even causing some plants to grow too much and mess up the balance.
Huh. So it's almost like too much of a good thing can be bad.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Especially in such a fragile environment like the Sahara.
So we've got these incredible images of flooded Sahara Desert. And it's both awe-inspiring and a little bit terrifying, right? I mean, it really makes you think about the power of nature and how things are changing, maybe faster than we realize.
And in ways we're only just beginning to understand. I mean, who knows what other impossible events we might see as our climate keeps changing. One thing's for sure, though. We got to start paying attention. What happened in the Sahara? It's a wake-up call.
It really is. Well, that's about all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening.